Welcome, everyone, to Education Quest presentation College Planning for Seniors. I'm Reagan Anson with Education Quest, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Jackie Butler, one of our amazing college planning specialists. Jackie, thanks so much for being here to walk us through all of the critical steps that seniors need to take this year to plan for college.
Well, thank you for having me, Reagan.
Yeah. So much of what we'll talk about for our audience purposes, much of what we'll talk about tonight is summarized in our senior timeline. And we'll go ahead and put a link to that webpage in the comments if you want to follow along or take a look or print something for later. Also, before we get started, I want to make sure our audience knows to go ahead and post their questions in the comment section, because if they do, they're going to get a chance, Jackie, to win one of these amazing Education Quest coffee mugs, fully insulated, or their choice of a water bottle, also insulated. So be sure to go ahead and ask any questions that come to mind throughout the presentation. Don't wait till the end. Get them out there so that you don't forget. And we'll go ahead and reach out to the winner after the broadcast. So with that, let's go ahead and dig into the content. Jackie, can you get us started by explaining what we mean by college, because there's a lot more options than I think people realize.
Absolutely, Reagan. So when we talk about college, we're not just talking about four-year institutions. So students have several choices in terms of the types of college that they might attend. There are two-year community colleges. So just as it says, typically the programs are about 2 years in length. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, depending upon if you're enrolled as a full-time student or what have you. Those two-year community colleges, they offer diplomas, certificates, or associate's degrees. And they also have something called an academic transfer program, which I'll talk about here in just a moment. There are also four-year colleges and universities, so those can be either public or private. Four-year colleges offer bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and some of them even offer doctorate degrees. And then you have your career schools, or some people will refer to them as a trade school. Mm-hmm. So they are a little bit different than other colleges in terms of they are have more of a direct approach, I guess, if you will. They do offer certificates, diplomas, or associate degrees. But with 2- and 4-year colleges, they offer a more broad range of general education and elective classes while you're receiving your degree, where career schools really focus on the core classes for that specific career. So that's why generally they're shorter in length. A couple examples I guess I can give you for a career school to help you understand that might be like a massage therapy school, a school that offers cosmetology. And even for another example, we do have some colleges in the state of Nebraska, career schools, that are specialized in radiologic technology. So if you attend that college, that is the degree that you would be looking at. So they really hone in on that specific degree.
Those are awesome examples. And there's really a fit out there for everybody. One size doesn't fit all. So you have to find the right fit for you.
Right.
Jackie, you mentioned about starting at a community college and then and having transfer programs to a 4-year school. Can you tell me a little bit more about that process?
Sure. So as mentioned earlier, Reagan, that is what is referred to as an academic transfer program. So what happens is if a student selects a major that requires a bachelor's degree, sometimes they can choose to start at a community college and take their general education classes. So that's usually about 2 years. And then those classes would then transfer to the 4-year college for the student to finish out their bachelor's degree or an advanced degree. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind if you select that academic transfer program, you want to make sure that the community college that you would start at, the classes that you're taking there will transfer to the four-year college. So most colleges, or if not all colleges, are going to have an academic transfer page on their website that will let you know which four-year college their classes transfer to. The four-year colleges will also have an academic transfer program or transfer program site on their website, so a student can make sure that their classes are transferring to that four-year institution. So, be mindful of that. The advantages of doing that, number one, is the tuition is lower, and a lot of students are being very savvy with their money. So they're starting out at a community college at a lesser cost, perhaps living at home to save some money on room and board. Also, for those students who maybe kind of have an idea what they want to study, but they're not exactly certain, starting out at a community college and taking an academic transfer program allows for the student, to really focus and discover what path or career they want to go into. So it buys them a little bit of time, so to speak.
Yeah, great advice. And because, just make sure everything transfers. Like you said, you don't want to waste your time or money taking classes
Right.
that might not count towards something later on. So that's really good advice. When should a senior submit their college applications? I know there's an important timeline here that everybody needs to follow, but can you talk a little bit about when those should start going into the schools?
Yes. So actually, admissions applications are open now. Seniors should be filling out admissions applications in the fall of their senior year. There are some colleges that do charge an admission application fee. And there are also times where some of those colleges will actually waive that fee for a certain length of time. So make sure that you talk to your school counselor to find out, do I have to pay a fee to apply for admission to this college? And is there, a certain time that I can apply that that fee is waived? If the fee is not a concern, you can go ahead and apply now. The earlier, the better, certainly. So in the month of September is a great time to apply for admission to the colleges. If the student isn't certain what college they want to attend, and oftentimes that's the case, we recommend applying to 3 to 4 colleges perhaps, just because that gives the student a little bit of fallback, I guess. So maybe apply to that dream school, the one that they really want to go to, but then also apply to a realistic school where they know that they can meet the admissions requirements, and maybe a fallback school or a plan B school. So, one of those colleges that you can get in for sure. And attend, and maybe attend it for a short length of time and then transfer to a different college. But the thing is, life happens, and sometimes you think you're going to major in XYZ degree, and then you take the direction changes and you decide to study something different, and maybe the college that you originally intended to go to doesn't offer that program. So we just like to see you maybe apply to a few colleges so that you have options. Make sure that you don't miss any admissions deadlines, because not only that, but scholarship deadlines. Missing deadlines can mean missing out on scholarship opportunities. So you want to make sure and apply for admission early.
Great advice. Can you talk a little bit more? I mean, it's hard to narrow those choices, right? Even down to 3 or 4. What can seniors do now to narrow those choices, and what can they do to find colleges that are going to meet their needs?
Well, I think some things that would help students to narrow those choices down. Number one, go out and visit those colleges. So if you haven't been on a campus visit, get your feet on the ground there, and look in the classrooms and the cafeteria and the dorms and things like that. Oftentimes, when you step foot on a campus, you'll be able to tell if that's really a good fit for you or not, just by seeing some of the class sizes and some of the students that are attending that particular institution. So, visiting campuses is a great idea. Talk to the college reps who visit your high school. So when they announce, when they put on the school announcements that XYZ College will be here today to visit with juniors and seniors, go with a list of questions. What is your admissions deadline? What are your admissions requirements? What are your scholarship deadlines? Do you offer the program that I plan to study? So things like that. Also, in the fall, many high schools are hosting college fairs. So check with your school counselor to see, is your high school hosting a college fair, or is there a local high school that you can attend the college fair? So a college fair is kind of a one-stop shop, if you will, where there are anywhere from 35, 40 college representatives to 70 or 75 college admissions representatives. Go to those college fairs, visit with a lot of colleges, ask them those important questions. But this gives you the opportunity to talk to several admissions representatives in a short amount of time, and maybe even explore other colleges that you might not have originally. So college fairs are a great opportunity. Also, sit down and make a list of pros and cons. So list all of the colleges you're considering, and then list things like, how much does it cost to go to that college? Is the size of the college, is it large or small? What type of atmosphere do I like? What do I thrive in? A larger classroom or more one-on-one with my professors and my advisors? The location, is it close to home? Is it far away? The social climate, certainly when you go visit the college, you're going to learn about the social climate. The programs that they offer. So, do they have career prep as well? Do they help you secure internships? Do they have job placement? And then if a student has perhaps a disability or an IEP, do they have the means to accommodate you on some of those things? So, visit with your school counselor first and foremost, and then look at all of those other options to help you narrow your list down.
Absolutely. And that pro and con list can come in super handy on our website, actually, because we have a link called College Profiles, a tool called College Profiles on the Education Quest website, educationquest.org. Go to College Profiles and you can search hundreds, maybe thousands of colleges throughout the country based on your criteria. So when you talk about campus size, you talk about majors, social climate, all of those things, you can really narrow down that search and try to find a college that's going to be the right fit for you. And it's a great online tool you can use any time of the day or night. So
absolutely, it gives you all of that information and more. So
yes. So it's hard to talk about college, Jackie, without talking about how to pay for it. So let's start with scholarships. Where can students look for scholarships?
Okay, well, colleges are going to be one of the most important resources that you have for scholarships. So, again, that's a question to be asking those admissions representatives, whether at the college fair, whether on your visit, or whether they come to your high school. So be speaking to them and ask those questions, and specifically ask them, is my admissions application enough to be considered for those internal scholarships? Or do I have to fill out an additional or supplemental application to be considered for your institution's scholarships? That is one thing that you really need to ask the college so you don't miss out on that. Use Scholarship Quest. So that is another tool on our website. Students will go in and create a profile. And once the profile is completed, they'll hit the results page. On that results page, it will list scholarships that match up with the criteria you listed. And you could potentially apply for any or all of those scholarships. So my best advice then, once you get to the results page, you click on the scholarship name and it will give you further information. How many scholarships are offered, how much it is, further criteria that you have to meet to be able to apply for that scholarship. It will give you a link to the scholarship application and contact contact information for the scholarship provider. So there's a lot of great information in there. The other thing I do want to mention about Scholarship Quest is fill that out early, create that profile early, and you may not see a lot of results right away, but as our scholarship department updates the deadlines, you're going to see more and more scholarships that match up with you. So continue to check in on Scholarship Quest. Don't get discouraged because more scholarships will appear. Scholarship Quest is geared towards Nebraska high school graduates, and there's over 2,000 scholarships in that database on our website. So you're not competing against students throughout the nation, you're competing against students throughout the state of Nebraska. So that kind of increases your chances of receiving some of those scholarship dollars. Also talk to your school counselor. So they're always receiving information. It's coming through their email or what have you. They have a lot of information on state and local scholarships, as well as some national scholarships. So talk to the school counselor, find out where do they house that information. Is it on the school's website? Does the counselor push that out via email or text to the students? Do they have a bulletin board outside their office where they list all of that information? So make sure that you're communicating throughout the senior year of your college intentions and finding out a lot of that good information from your school counselor. Keep those lines of communication open with them.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Not at
We're
all.
here to help. Your counselor's here to help. Everybody wants to help you get to college.
No such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah, that's right. So what can a senior do right now to prepare? Say, you know, some scholarship deadlines may not be for a few months, but they can be preparing right now, right? What can they do to get ready?
They can. So one thing is in the state of Nebraska, students are offered the opportunity to take the ACT during the spring of their junior year. So my advice would be to consider maybe retaking that ACT. I know there are some colleges that are test optional, but taking the ACT and retaking it and potentially increasing your score can only help you. It's not going to hurt you. Colleges are going to take your best composite score. So, you know, if you took the ACT and maybe you didn't get the score that you were hoping for, go ahead and take it again. You have opportunities yet in September, October, and December to take it. And like I said, increasing your score could mean more money in scholarship dollars for you. Also, again, a tool that we have on our website is activities resume. So like going into set up a Scholarship Quest profile, you'll go in and set up an activities resume. And the activities resume is a place to document all the things the student has been involved in from freshman through senior year of high school. So things like clubs and organizations, leadership positions, part-time employment, job shadowing, honors and awards received, maybe honors classes taken. We have a template in the activities resume, so a student can use that. And you can also add categories that you think are important as well. An activities resume is really beneficial for admissions applications, but even more so for scholarship applications. You're going to have all of that information at your fingertips when you sit down to fill out scholarship applications, and you're not going to be omitting any important information. Also think about letters of recommendation. Scholarships ask for letters of recommendation. So generally anywhere from 2 to 3 letters of recommendation. Think about people who know your work ethic and your character and can speak to that. So, you know, avoid friends or relatives, but, you know, administration, your counselor, maybe an employer, clergy, or a coach or a teacher. So people like that who know you well and can speak well of you and offer a good letter of recommendation to increase your chances of receiving scholarships.
That's great. Good advice. And Education Quest itself has several scholarships for seniors. So can you tell me a little bit about those?
We do. So first of all, I talked about the Scholarship Quest profile. And when you fill out a Scholarship Quest profile and you reach the results page, you are going to see, and I looked today, it's not up there quite yet, but you will see what's called a Scavenger Hunt Scholarship. Students from 9th through 12th grade can actually apply for the Scavenger Hunt Scholarship. You'll find the details on the results page of your Scholarship Quest profile, and we select 2 recipients to receive $500 scholarships. So, $500 is a semester of books. So any and every amount of scholarship is great. And again, 9th through 12th graders can apply for this. So you can actually set up a Scholarship Quest profile even as a freshman in high school, and then just continue to update it as you progress through your high school years. We also have a financial aid program scholarship. So throughout the month of September, Education Quest will be doing financial aid presentations statewide. So they will be virtually. And you can go to find out the dates of those financial aid presentations. You can go to our website, and towards the bottom of the page, bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see upcoming events. And at the bottom of that, there will be a little link that says view full calendar. So if you click on that, you'll be able to see our calendar of events and select September. And then you'll be able to see those dates that we will be offering financial aid presentations. You do have to pre-register for that because we do send out a link for you to connect to those presentations. Other than that, we do, for that financial aid program scholarship, juniors and seniors can apply for that. So if you attend the financial aid program virtually, or if a parent attends on behalf of the junior or senior, they can register their student for that scholarship. During the presentation, we will be giving you a link for that scholarship to be able to apply. And we select 6 recipients for scholarships for the financial aid program scholarship. The third type of scholarship Education Quest offers is the Get Social Scholarship. So, Reagan, maybe you want to elaborate on that one.
I do. This is like maybe the easiest and most fun scholarship we've got, right? Follow us on social media channels. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow us on any or all of those channels. And for every 250 additional followers we get on any platform, we will do a drawing for a $500 scholarship. And so I know we're dropping in some different links into the comments as we've been talking here about these scholarship opportunities through Education Quest. So you can learn more about those just by clicking on those links, but follow us on social. We'll notify you when we've hit the threshold, and we'll say, all right, time to apply. And the other benefit is we keep you updated on all the deadlines, all the important dates, and all of that you need to know. And just follow us on social, and you'll have everything you need to make sure you're ready to go to school. So,
and Reagan, I might add to that, like you said, there is not a limited number that we're giving out. There's not a predetermined number. So, as people start to follow us on those sites, it increases the number, and then we put out more scholarships.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
Absolutely.
Easy money. So speaking of money for college, seniors will also have to complete the FAFSA in the fall. Can you briefly explain what the FAFSA is?
Sure. So FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. It is a free form. I do want to stress that. So it's important that you fill it out. Whether your financial situation, you think, oh, we're not going to qualify for anything, we don't need to fill it out. It is a free form, and Education Quest is a free service. We can help you fill it out. So, if you'd like our assistance, you just need to call one of our offices, the office nearest you, and schedule an appointment. We do both virtual or in-person appointments. So, we have people already calling now to schedule their appointments. The FAFSA is an application that determines federal, state, and college-based financial aid. So it determines grant, work study, and loan eligibility for students. It opens up this October 1st. So you heard that right. Seniors, you are filling the FAFSA out almost a year prior to starting college. Okay.
Right.
So keep that in mind. It opens up this coming October 1st. So we have people calling all the time, scheduling appointments for October. So we can assist them in filling that FAFSA out. It's important to fill it out as soon as you can. It doesn't have to be filled out October 1st, but generally, if you can fill it out in the month of October, you're doing well. We really want you to get it filled out as soon as possible so you are considered for the best financial aid package that you are eligible to receive.
And if you want to learn more about the FAFSA, we have several upcoming additional live streams coming up this fall. The next one is actually called How the Financial Aid Process Works, and we'll cover a lot of details of the FAFSA, and that will be at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, September 21st on YouTube and Facebook. Just on a live stream. So be sure to tune into that. In the meantime, you can also prepare by visiting our website and checking out our FAFSA tools. There's a lot of great resources on there so that you can get ready for that October 1st date. So thanks so much, Jackie, for all that great information. I actually want to move over to take some questions from our viewers, and we'll see what they have on their minds if you're ready for that.
I sure am.
Yeah, right. Will Education Quest be hosting college fairs at Nebraska high schools this year, or will they just be online?
They will actually be in person. So there are many college fairs, and you can certainly talk to your counselor. They should have information on where those college fairs will be happening. I believe some of the first college fairs start next week. So we're going to be hitting the trail hard and getting there in person and all of those admissions representatives. So,
right.
Make
we'll
the
be
effort
at those
now.
fairs. Yeah. So come see us for help. We'll be at those fairs along with all the admissions folks. Another question related to the ACT. Do colleges take your best ACT composite score, or do they use a super score? And what's the difference?
So, okay. So first, the composite score is the average of all of your scores, math, reading, science, etc. Okay, so that is your composite score. A super score is when, if you've taken the ACT multiple times, the college is going to say, okay, in June you took the ACT and you got the highest math score, so we're going to take that math score. And then maybe in September you got your highest English score, so we're going to take that score. So on and so forth. So they're going to take your highest scores from each of the ACTs that you have taken, and that's what's considered a super score. There's not many colleges in the state of Nebraska that take a super score. You might check with your school counselor. I don't want to speak to that because I don't want to give you some false information, but for the most part, the colleges in the state of Nebraska will take the composite, so your highest score, your highest average score.
Great. Another question, is it best to schedule a campus visit or to just show up, or can you do both?
You know what? It's best to schedule ahead of time. Colleges like you to go online and schedule that visit, generally about 2 weeks ahead of when you plan to come, and they'll allow you to then select a date. And the reason being is because they like to get things set up for you. If you know what you want to major in, your career path, they will have time to set up an appointment so you can sit down with a faculty member and visit with them, and all kinds of other things. And plus, they want to make sure that there's not an overabundance or too many people coming at one time. So it's best to schedule it ahead of time and allow the college admissions department to prepare for your visit.
A couple of questions related to scholarships. When applying at a college for a scholarship, what is best to include in the personal essay? Is there any tips that you have with that?
Oh gosh, that's a stumper. I think probably that would be, you're talking admissions or scholarships?
Applying for a college's scholarship, I think some of them might require a personal essay. And I think what they're asking for is is there anything in particular that they should think about including?
I think that's probably a question best directed at your school counselor. Different colleges are going to have different criteria or things that they want to know about the student. So I think, directing that to the counselor, or even talking to the financial aid or admissions department at a college, you can ask them those questions. But I think it's probably best directed to them, because I don't want to speak and tell you something, that this XYZ college, that all of them want that information, when maybe only a handful want particular information about, volunteer work or community service or your leadership positions or things like that. So I think it's probably best
I
directed
think we
there.
have some helpful information on some old blogs that we've written. If you go to our blog site, just on educationquest.org, there's a lot of great advice in some of those blogs that we've written in the past about how to structure those essays and how to get good information. So that's great.
That's a great point.
Another question is how soon should a senior apply for scholarships?
Well, that is a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So, seniors, don't wait until the calendar has turned. Don't wait until it's January 1, 2023. There are scholarships that start in the fall and early winter. So, just to name a few, like your high school Heisman, your Elks Most Valuable Students. There are some medical scholarships, the K-HOP, the R-HOP. Things like that, the K-LOT. So there are scholarships that do start in the fall. So set up that Scholarship Quest profile. Make sure you connect with your school counselor to find out where they're going to be putting that information. But starting early is always best. We don't want you to miss any scholarship opportunities. Obviously, your state and local scholarships, more of them are going to be in the months of February, March, April. But certainly begin the process in the fall. Make a folder and put them in deadline order so you're not missing any deadlines.
That's great. Jackie, thank you so much for sharing all of your incredible knowledge and insight about all the things that have to happen when you're a senior, because it's a lot to keep track of. I know we advise students, if you need help, come to us. We're here. We're here all the time. People like Jackie are which is our monthly newsletter that we put a ton of important information about deadlines and things like that. So you can sign up for that just on our website. It's on the sliding graphic at the very top of our homepage. And be sure to check out the college planning section at educationquest.org. And don't forget that our next live stream is September 21st. And that is going to be all about how the financial aid process works. Jackie, thanks again for being here. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
You're so